All right, folks, I am going to walk you through this next example, and then the following examples after this you're going to try on your own. So why don't you either follow along and just watch what I'm doing, or you may follow along and write it down. It's kind of up to you. Our first step, I just kind of copied and pasted all of our steps down here so that we would be able to remember them. First thing we want to do is we want to solve it for y, so we want to get it into slope-intercept form. So for me to do that, I'm going to have to take away 5x on each side. So I end up with 2y is greater than negative 8 minus 5x. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide everything by 2, and everything on that second side also needs to be divided by 2 in order to get our y alone. That gets y by itself, and that would stay as a greater than sign. We've got negative 8 divided by a 2. That's what I'm trying to circle right here. So that would be negative 4. And then we've got a minus 5x all divided by 2. So that's really just going to be a minus 5 halves x. Oops, my 2 on the bottom there, a little bit better. And what I'm going to do just to make it a little easier is I'm going to put our slope before our y-intercept and just rearrange that equation or inequality. So I have y is greater than negative 5 halves x minus 4 for my new equation. So now I can go to step number 2 and I can graph the boundary line. I'm going to start over here on the right side on the graph down at negative 4 with my dot, and I'm going to have to travel up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the right 2. Nope, I'm sorry, up 5 and to the left 2 because I forgot it was a negative slope. And then up 5 more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and to the left 2 more. Make my next dot. Is that looking good? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Yep, that looks good. I have to go back to look at my sign, and I notice my sign in my equation is a greater than sign. So I'm going to use a dashed boundary line. So I would go ahead and connect my dots to the best of my ability with my dashed line. A hint that I use on my paper is I actually draw it as a solid line and then drag my eraser through different parts to turn it into a dashed looking line. And I'm fine if you guys want to use that method. And then the last step that we would do is down step number 3. Shade the half plane above the line if it's a greater than sign. So above the line is going to actually be over here. And then what we can do is we want to double check our answer to make sure that we've shaded the correct spot. So I'm going to pick anything that's in that shaded part, which I would say the origin right there is in the shaded part. And I'm going to plug in 0, 0 to my problem over here and see if it actually works out correctly. So is 0 greater than negative 5 halves times 0 minus 4? And when I do that, I know those cancel each other out. So really I end up with 0 is greater than negative 4. And that's on the side that I shaded, and that's a true statement. So I know I shaded the correct portion of my graph. All right, the next example, why don't you go ahead and, actually, I wonder if I can give it to you. Maybe. There's the next example right here on the top of your screen. Whoops. 4x minus y plus 2 is less than or equal to 0. So why don't you go ahead and try to work on that problem, and then the answer video will be the next one that you watch.